Hi, Diana. We're so happy to have you here.
Well, sure. Thank you for asking.
So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about what we're looking at right now. I know what we're looking at right now, but give us a little tour.
Yeah, so I'm in the store right now. This is a tidier version of the counter. It's always a mess because this is always also my office. So files, books, everything. This is where I do all the things.
So tell
Yeah.
tell me, I have never been to where Mel lives, so hopefully soon I'll be able to go visit.
Ah,
How far is Bob's Beach Reads from the beach? And then
mhm.
also, what do you do with all the sand that I imagine gets tracked in?
Yeah, so we are, what are we? I think we're about 4 blocks from the beach, maybe 2 blocks from the beach. We have pretty small blocks. Um, but yes, we're very close to the beach. We've got new and used books, and I am somehow still surprised when I'm going through the store and I find actual piles of sand on the floor. What? I don't know. But yes, we do get significant amounts of sand.
Do
Um,
people turn their board short pockets out? How is that happening? Or their shoes?
that their shoes or what's going on? I'm curious, but there I will find actual piles. It's really bizarre.
I was telling Liz that one thing I'm really proud of about Bob's Beach Books and Roberts. Does the family still own the both or okay. Is that it's family owned. Nate, I always tell Oregonians, like, have you ever been to Roberts in Lincoln City?
Kind of
And
amazing.
yeah, you either get this like phenomenal, eyes popping out of the head, like, yes, it's amazing. It's the best used bookstore in all of Oregon. Or like, no, tell me more, in which we launch into the cockpit and,
Yes.
you know, covering
The other
rooms.
store, um, they've been there for 30 some years now. I want to say 36 years, and my foster kitten is meowing in the background. Um, and this store's been here for 27 years now. All used books. At the other store, it's 3 buildings, and it's also kind of part museum. A lot of original illustration art, uh, antiquities. Like they have a poster signed by a number of the code talkers.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
it's yeah, just kind of amazing things that my dad, he started the stores originally. Um, that kind of just he thought was really interesting, so he put them in the store just as kind of decoration. And then my sister's sort of taking over that store, and then I took over this store 20 years ago last month. And we've got new and used at this store and foster kittens.
Probably my favorite room in Roberts is the Western room.
Hmm.
The tiny little room where all the, Zane Grey, Louis L'Amour, just
Mhm.
bonkers amounts of collections in such a tiny little space. And if you're that kind of person, it's a whole afternoon of joy and delight. Diana, because you run Bob's Beach Reads, we wanted to know, what is a beach read for you? How do we even
It
define this term?
and that's what I've been thinking about. And pardon me, the clicking is I've got a feather stick here playing with Caddyshack. Because she's noisy. Beach reads, it's pretty personal. But I would say it's one thing is a lot of people I think give themselves permission to take the time to read when they're at the beach, or at the lake on vacation, wherever you might be able to take some time away. Because I think so many people don't give themselves permission to take that time to read for enjoyment. And you can read your textbooks, you can read for work, do all your, ongoing education things, and a lot of people don't take the time anymore to read for pleasure, for enjoyment.
Mhm.
So I think a beach read is whatever you can take that time for. And it's really interesting, because the last, I want to say, maybe 8 years or so, there's been a steady increase in people coming back to classics. Um, People will be surprised when they come in and see my classic section, and I'll have maybe 4 different translations of Crime and Punishment, or Dostoevsky. I don't know what it is, but It sells a lot. We sell a lot of Dostoevsky.
Where are people talking about them, do you think? Is it on the sidewalks and online?
There's a lot of book talk. And by that I mean book TOK, book talk, going around, which I don't keep up with. So I only hear about that really from either other booksellers or people coming in and asking. So I'm not sure where the Dostoevsky is coming back from.
Or he
Um,
just never went away?
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
You really have such a privileged position of being kind of a front row seat to, what people are reading at the beach. When people come in, do they ever kind of say, what should I be reading while I'm at the beach?
Yes. That's a regular one. And I try to ask them, what have you enjoyed? Um, because it's a massively broad question. What should I read? And I do get that question a lot. So it's either what have you read you've enjoyed or didn't enjoy? What have you watched and enjoyed, didn't enjoy? Try and pin down something that way because Stephen King is going to be so much, you know, different from Dostoevsky, or
But
and certainly they'll have things in common.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
Different experience. A lot of people looking for cozy, whether that means mystery or romance or fantasy or just general fiction. Low anxiety. There might be some adventure. There might be a little bit of drama, but they want something that just feels good and feels warm. A lot more fiction than nonfiction. We Nonfiction does fairly well, but for beach reads, what's fun is a lot of Oregon authors. MK Run. There's a small exhibit at the local museum about her and her partner Ruth. And it's I love suggesting her books, particularly for her holiday beach mysteries, because they are mostly set in Lincoln City. And it's fun to be able to go back and say in the 1980s, 1982 maybe, what the area was like. And there it's about a bookseller who is solving mysteries.
Because your job is books, I find myself wondering, then what's your beach read? Because everything connects back to what you do.
And that's a tough question. I don't have one particular favorite book. I have a lot of favorite books. And it's like music for me. I guess it depends a lot on my mood. And I don't reread a lot of books. I do reread some books. Um, but I one that I my mind keeps going back to because I enjoyed it so much at the time was Running Close to the Wind by Alexander Rowland. It's a fantasy, and I would say it's just joyful chaos. It's sort of a heist pirate, fun, hard to explain, but it was, I guess I keep going back to it because it was just fun.
I feel like I hear what you're saying because when you're deep in kind of reading serious books or listening to a lot of news, for example,
Mhm.
boy, to spend my disposable, fun time reading something that's just light, enjoyable, something that I can't wait to see what happens next. To me,
Mhm.
that's kind of the epitome of a beach read. It's like a break from my normal.
It's yeah,
What's
and that it's just yeah, vacation for your brain. Even if you can't be on vacation, your brain can have a little vacation.
Mel, do you have a beach read this summer?
It's so funny because you and I, Liz, have been talking a lot now about beach reads, of course, because we knew this interview was coming. So I was like, is a beach read, it's kind of individual, right? Obviously, some people are going to the beach and reading Crime and Punishment, which sounds like a nightmare to me, but I just picked up from Diana actually this week, both of Leah Sotil's books, and these are kind of books that are in my lane, generally speaking. But I just started When the Moon Turns to Blood, Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell, and a story of murder, wild faith, and end times. And
Perfect for you.
Yeah, and that kind of got me thinking like, okay, that's the kind of beach reader that I am. I was also thinking about like maybe I would tackle The Stand this summer. Like that's a door stopper we have here. But
It's
the summer can be a wonderful container for the door
Mhm.
stopper. So
It's kind of a commitment. So it's, yeah.
I was telling Melanie, Diana, that I'm kind of in a conundrum right now as a reader because I have a baby. She's a little over 4 months old. And so I had been in the first few months reading on my phone, which I tend to hate to do, but it was all I could manage. Like there's a baby, and I can kind of cling to my phone with two fingers. Now, though, that she is so much stronger and can hold her head up really well, I'm able to start reading print books again. But I'm discovering that size and weight of the book is really important because I am not so I am a little bit clumsy, and there are times that I'm dropping bookmarks on her all the time. I almost dropped this big fat book I'm reading on her head, and so I'm thinking like, what should I get into? Should I get into poems? Is this going to be? I said that with like such stank, like is this my summer poetry? Because then I can have these little slim volumes and it won't give her CTE if it falls on her. I don't know. Do you have any
Mary
recommendations for
Oliver.
me?
Mary Oliver's great.
Well, I
You
do
ever read
love
Mary
Mary
Oliver?
Oliver, but all my Mary Oliver collections are fatties. I
Oh,
think I
okay.
need to go down to those little, you know,
Thin
like maybe
volumes.
thin volumes. Yeah.
maybe you need a
Audio.
zine summer, Liz, where you do a deep dive on chapbooks and zines and pamphlets.
Oh, actually, zines and pamphlets are great because it's even lighter.
Yeah. Microcosm out of Portland, they do some amazing zines.
What are some books that you would give your neighbors to read if you were queen of the world and could, make this happen?
As far as something everyone should be reading, I'd say everybody should try romance. If you haven't read it, romance can mean a lot of different things. It can mean Jane Austen. Um, it can mean Nora Roberts. It can mean um, it's a Harlequin romance. So many different things. It could mean Louis L'Amour.
Lead us off, Diana. This is the book that if
Okay.
you could get all your neighbors to read it together, you would choose.
Here we go.
It's well, I would say this would be one of them because there's probably a lot. Music of Bees, Eileen Garvin, and the sequel that just came out, Bumblebee Season. Um, it's Oregon-based general fiction, so general novels that just enjoyable books. And again, Oregon-based, so you can see a little bit of the area in there. Um, and just yeah, so it's a lot of people don't want fantasy or they don't want romance or they don't want mystery. There are particular things, whatever it is about that genre that they don't want. And this would just maybe be couple books that might appeal to a broader audience. Although again, I think everyone should try romance or mystery or fantasy, and if you don't like it, that's okay.
Are there any particular romance novels that you think are a super easy win for someone who's never approached the genre before?
Would you share with us, like, what's kind of one of your favorite core beach reading memories? Do you have one or?
Um, I guess one of my favorites. It's not necessarily beach reading. It just happened here in the store, and it was like, well, yeah. Um, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. It was Pride Month, and I had just had Pride display up, and there was a selection of kids books, and there was a family in, and the little kid said to it was their dad, and they said, "How come that book has two moms on it?" And dad said, well, some kids have two moms and some have two dads and some have one mom or one dad, and it's all okay. And the kid said, okay. And then they just went to look at coloring books. It was like, it is that easy. It is literally that easy.
Is there a reading memory between you and your dad? Maybe beachy, maybe not,
It's
that is precious to you?
when I was little, I have a sister, and when we were little, every night he would read to us. And often it was a chapter of Nancy Drew. So we would get one chapter a night. And it's a cliffhanger, but that's tough. You only get one chapter a night. But then you really want that next chapter the next night.
Well, Diana, this has been so delightful. We know that you have to go and open the store now.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.